Hello, my name is David Keithley, and I shall be presenting to you today the Legal Futures webinar on the Supreme Court ruling in Duval, focusing on the impact on residential leases. If you're not familiar with this case, then I hope you'll agree that by the time I finish the presentation that the ramifications of this case can be and are going to be quite significant. So moving on to the general content of the case, what I'll be looking at is the items listed on this slide here, which to say is based on the recent decision of the Supreme Court in the Duval and Randolph Crescent case, and by way, rather than just going straight into the case and just talking about the case and nothing but the case, I'm going to set the tone to the background to it by looking at the three general models of enforcing restrictive covenants in leases, and then a very quick look at the limitations on the enforcement of positive covenants in respect of leases, and then concentrating on the circumstances which led to the Duval case and a summary of the Supreme Court decisions, and then have a look at the overall implications of that decision for both landlords and tenants. And I'll also, just as a last point, think about the impact of this in relation to breaches which arose prior to the decision, and that's perhaps something which I believe may well store up one or two issues for the future. So my background, the background to the whole case is that it involves the leases of the flats in a prime property in Randolph Crescent in Maida Vale, London, and the terms of the leases of those properties were the backdrop to the case in its entirety. The whole Supreme Court decision hinged on the meaning and the interpretation of three specific clauses in these leases, but the leases themselves and the clauses which we're going to be referring to, you'll be familiar with and very familiar with, because they're the sorts of clauses which appear in a large number of residential leases.